AEW returns to pay-per-view this Saturday in Newark, New Jersey with Full Gear. We get the rematch, Jon Moxley and MJF for the AEW World Championship, a four-way for the Ring of Honor World Championship, plus Saraya's in-ring debut and her first match in 5 years, and a lot more. We got our prediction shows and a little lanyard for you coming up on this live stream edition of the World Elite Podcast. Let's go.
So what does it mean to be a raging Cajun? Southwest Louisiana, wreck your face, man. Still don't get it in, I'ma let you know. All you gotta do is come and join the show.
Yo, we are the highest tier pod of your weekly unfiltered wrestling and entertainment. Welcome to the World Elite Podcast presented by Floor Slapper Sports. Go to floorslappersports.com, your number one source in all your sports and pro wrestling needs. And we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And we are also on YouTube as well. We are the Hostly Trio. First off, I'm also a sports correspondent for Floor Slapper Sports. Marcus at MarcusElite337 on Twitter. Right below me, also a sports correspondent for them as well, Jordan. And on my right, graphic designer and social media manager for Floor Slapper Sports, Dylan. What's up, fellas, and where can we find you?
I'm doing pretty good, doing better than if you listen to our 2-year anniversary where I sounded like absolute shit with that sinus infection I
Same
had.
here.
Sadly, still, I mean, to this day, still dealing with some sinus issues, but a whole lot better than what I was. And you can find me on Twitter at DylanAbear_.
Yeah, and I'm doing good, and you can find me at Jordan_J2000.
And I'm glad we're all doing good, and I feel like we got a trend going. See, last year after the 1 year, we did a live stream, and we're doing that again after the 2 year. And then, of course, we got him back on, but now we got him with the Hostly Trio. Welcome back. Originally from Maine, but he's from North Carolina. From Smack Row. Check out his weekly wrestling show on Sunday mornings. Kai Tai, welcome back, man.
What's up, man? Dude, I'm glad to be back. I appreciate you taking me back after all the dick jokes I did on the other episode. So,
we got a lot of positive feedback about your love of carrying across this fucking package and everything.
Yes, sir. I love the whole package, the whole thing.
Speaking of packages, today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped, the best in men's grooming. Of course, go to manscaped.com and use our promo code WEP did the Britt Baker WEP to get 20% off plus free shipping, because with Manscaped, your balls will thank you.
Come on, man.
So we are predicting Full Gear tonight. Now, before we get to the predictions, real quick, do you guys have anything y'all want to share before we get to any AEW talk? Any good news? Any bad news? Anything I need to be surprised about? No?
Not
kind of a mundane Thursday, man. Sorry, I didn't bring no heat today.
Oh, no. I got a bunch I'm going to wait and use when we finally record Survivor Series 2002. We're going to record it tomorrow, Dylan and I, and drop it whenever. But today is the 20-year anniversary of that show. It happened 20 years ago today. And I was like, fucking right. I watched it just in time. Speaking of AEW, since that's our main topic, what do you guys think of the product so far? You know, a lot of people have been having hate on it. Some people still love it to death. Their Dynamite last night, I thought, was kind of medium, but I saw a video of a guy in the crowd right when Jericho and Sammy were coming out. It looked dead in an arena that could probably seat like 10,000 people. There's probably only like 2,500 in the arena. Do you think they're kind of on the down low? Are they on thin ice, or they just need to go to smaller arenas?
I don't think either, man. I think, you're going to have your ups and downs. And right now, they're just not going through like the most hype that they've been under. But I mean, I think the product's just fine. I think it's fine. It's got plenty of upside.
Yeah. I think it's fine. And last night, I thought it was all right.
Yeah, the product's just fine. I mean, I feel like the roster's too big to showcase everyone every Wednesday, and it's kind of hard to do it. You know, Dark happens, Dark Elevation, and they try to showcase who they want. But yeah, no, Dynamite, I feel like for a go home show, they didn't do as well as I expected them to do. And per the crowd, I mean, it's kind of bases on location as to where you have this Dynamite at. If you have it in Chicago, like they have it, seems like every week, then I feel like the crowds are bigger over there. But I'm not even sure where they were at last night. But
They
I mean,
were
it all based on where they're at.
They were in Bridgeport, Connecticut last night.
Okay,
Just for
yeah, but it
Dynamite.
all based on the crowd.
Yeah. I mean, just for Dynamite and a couple dark tapings because they're doing Rampage in Newark tomorrow night, plus the pay-per-view on Saturday. But next Wednesday, they're going to Chicago because that's a AEW tradition. They do the Thanksgiving Eve and the Rampage Black Friday in Chicago because they have to go to Chi-Town 7 times a year. Just like they go to Dallas like 6 times a year. And they've been cutting down on Jacksonville, which has been shocking lately. I thought they were going to end the year in Jacksonville. No, they're going to Denver. They're making their Denver, Colorado debut for New Year's Smash. So that's something new. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to come back to New Orleans.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Well, we can have our fingers crossed. I mean, they do have another pay-per-view coming up to kick off the year called Revolution. It's only one of 2 pay-per-views that is not in Vegas and not in Chicago, so maybe our fingers are crossed and New Orleans could get that pay-per-view, or fuck, I'll take Houston. That way we can go back to a show together.
Yeah, more Houston than New Orleans, I think. For Revolution, I don't think they can pick a good arena, and they're not selling out the Smoothie King Center.
Go back to
Houston,
Lakefront.
Yeah. Lakefront's not a pay-per-view style arena. It was barely big enough for a Dynamite. So if you want Revolution, you got to go bigger.
Well, Ring of Honor did Super Card of Honor there for 2018, not 14 because they went to West Wago for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if they're going to go back to Houston, don't go to the Fertitta Center. That place is too fucking small. Go to the NRG Arena, the one that's right by the Astrodome and NRG Stadium. Don't go to Toyota Center. That's too big for you. Go to go where Victory Road went. Go to NRG Arena. It's like a 3,000 seated venue. Perfect size because Fertitta is way too small, and all they could do was the fake flame pyro. They couldn't even do the sparks and shit because they were worried about because the arena was so small it could catch on fire. And shout out to some of our buddies from the UW Pod. They are also doing a live stream right now. Tim, TK, Justin from End Time Wrestling, and 3 other guys I can't recognize. I'm actually watching them right now on my phone on mute. So I don't even know what they're talking about.
Thursday's a popular night, man, because you got them, and then you have Katie's show, the She Elite Showcase. You got Putting You Over with the Standing Streamer, and then our sister show, Botch Spots and Chair Shots. They're also live tonight. Thursday is just a hot night for people to record, man.
Usually that's our nights to record prediction shows. And speaking of She Elite, Dylan was on the latest edition of. Is it She Elite or She Elite?
She Elite.
She Elite. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
The E
She
was
Elite.
Capitalized. The E was capitalized.
Fun fact: Katie and Savannah got their start as part of the Smack Raw family.
Oh wow! Awesome.
Yeah. She Elite Showcase. The first 2 months of it was part of Smack Raw, and then Katie wanted to be her own boss, and she broke off, and she's done fantastic things ever since. Her and Savannah both.
Nice.
Yeah, I forgot. I was gonna flash this when I mentioned Manscaped.
Jesus Christ, man.
Have you ever took the time to look at the mats? Like, I read it like an actual newspaper. They got some funny shit in here. They talk about the history of it. They give you cleaning tips. They even got crossword puzzles and shit in this.
It's part of their appeal, right? They don't take themselves too seriously.
Like, this is what you lay on the ground for hair to fall on the ground. Specific hair. But, like, it's got freaking political cartoons and shit in it. It's funny as hell. I have, this is 4 different copies, and it's the exact same pages of everything the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. So, I take it you guys are going to be watching this pay-per-view live.
Oh,
yes.
I will probably be the only one not watching it live because I will be in Death Valley, not rushing the field this time because we're playing a friggin' Conference USA team. So I said I got a long stretch going of not watching pay-per-views live, courtesy of LSU games, and I'm hoping
That's true.
Survivor Series might be in that category because I might be going to A&M next week. Maybe. I haven't decided yet because it is a 6 p.m. kickoff. I said if it's a night game, I might consider going. And I'll have to watch another pay-per-view late at night when I get home or the next day, but this one I'm going to buy on pay-per-view, record it on the DVR, and watch it Sunday.
You going to mute all like your social media and stuff?
No, because I have people that got to check on me like, I'm just seeing if you're alive after that touchdown or this bullshit. My phone don't stop ringing. I even put the group chat on mute because my phone will burn.
Yeah.
All right. Prediction time. So I'm going to talk random stupid shit. But I was giving you guys a thumbs that I will watch this pay-per-view on Sunday. I get online and I can't get off of Twitter anyway because I got to state my opinions on this touchdown. I do what Dylan does with Saints games. When I'm excited, I'm going to showboat the team. When I'm pissed, I'm going to say, fire this fucker, like I've been doing with the Saints.
And that seems to be a lot this season with the Saints, sadly.
I only get like that with UFC. Like that's the only thing that gets me running to Twitter is like shit that goes with UFC. Like that's the only thing that gets me where I just got to put it all out into the ether.
Yeah. And while we do these predictions, I'm also going to be typing mine in for Tim to put on for Slapper Sports. So while you guys share y'all's, I'm going to be typing mine and then I'll share mine last. But how we're going to do it, we'll start with Kai Tai, then Jordan, then Dylan, and then me. I always go last. And this is another pay-per-view where it looks like they're just putting way too many matches.
Do you think so? You think it's too many?
Well, I don't know if it's catching up with Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing had like freaking 14 matches, and that's including the ones on the buy-in.
Yeah, I think it'll be 14, but 10 for the main card.
Now, is it still called the buy-in, or did they change it to 0 hour like they did for All Out? I
want to say I heard it being referred to as 0 hour, but I don't know if it's official or not. I just heard other people referring to it as that.
That's supposed to be a Ring of Honor thing, and then when I saw AEW did that, but okay, one match. I'm like, we're gonna predict this one first because I don't know what's the point of them fucking doing it now. They can't even get shit done in time. But it's one of them traditional matches you're gonna do on a pay-per-view, like Revolution. They have the Face of the Revolution ladder match. Double or Nothing or All Out, they rotate it with a casino ladder match or a casino battle royale. Well, for Full Gear, they do what's called a World Championship Eliminator Tournament. We know one guy that made it to the finals. We don't even know his fucking opponent yet because they dragging this all the way the night before. We still got to have Ricky Starks versus Lance Archer. The winner to face Brian Cage in the semifinals, and then the winner of those three are going to face Ethan Page in the finals. So we're just going to get that one out of the way. Out of Cage, Archer, and Starks, who's facing Ethan Page and who's winning this whole worthless tournament that they're going to lose at Winter is Coming because that's where they're going to get their title shot.
Damn, man. Tell us how you really feel. It's probably going to be I'm already wrong because I actually on the rewind earlier this week said it was going to be Bandito. So I'm already like
me too.
With who I thought it was going to be. But at this point, if it's, I would probably say Ricky Starks taking on Ethan Page is how I'm seeing it. Either that or it'd be Lance Archer. One of the two. I can see Ricky Starks losing because of that injury. Either way, I don't see. Fuck, help me out, guys.
They got Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, and Lance Archer.
Cage. Yeah, Brian Cage is the only one I don't see in the finals.
Okay. So you have Ricky Starks facing Ethan Page in the finals, but who wins the tournament?
Oh, I mean, dude, it's probably. I mean, if MJF's gonna win, MJF's gonna be heel. The heel face dynamic, maybe Ricky Starks, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a Lance Archer winning to go fight Ethan Page, and I got Ethan Page winning.
Okay.
So I got Ricky Starks going face Ethan Page. And my prediction for this one ties into another match we're doing later. But I got Ethan Page winning the tournament to get the title shot. But like I said, it ties into a whole prediction I have later on when we predict another match.
I mean, it's hard to tell how seriously injured Starks is, but I'll have him go into the finals and then falling to Ethan Page. And I have more to say to that when we get towards the end. So now they recently added this match early this morning, and I was so happy. I just didn't know if it was going to be 2 titles, winner take all, or one was going to be defended. We're getting Wardlow, Samoa Joe, and Hobbs in a 3-way. Can't say triple threat in AEW. It's going to be for the TNT Championship. I was thinking maybe winner take all, both belts be on the line, but no, it's just the TNT titles. So who's walking out of Newark with the TNT Championship?
All right, I'll go. It's going to be Brian Cage, man. I honestly feel like AEW Full Gear is. I'm not mad at it, but I'm not going to lie. The theme is going to be this is pretty much like one of the most predictable pay-per-views I feel like the AEW's put on. And with Samoa Joe's title not on the line, that pretty much guarantee he's going to walk out champ. I don't think they're going to take it off of Wardlow just yet. They're trying to pick up his momentum again. So it kind of protects all 3 competitors in this triple threat or 3-way. And so, yeah, probably Hobbs is going to eat that pin. And then maybe over at Winter is Coming. Yeah, he'll probably pick up the belt.
You said Brian Cage.
Did I say Brian Cage?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, Powerhouse Hobbs, man. I'm going to do that a lot, dude. My brain's all fucked up from like years of drinking.
Oh, you're good. But hey, just so you just remember, you go first for every prediction.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well,
okay.
You may have to remind me like 6 more times, but I'll try to stick to the format. I'll
say your names if I got to.
Okay.
So, okay, Jordan.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Powerhouse Hobbs.
No, I don't think Wardlow loses the title yet. You know, this is a good match, but I think Hobbs is in there to eat the pin. I really don't think Joe takes the pin. I don't see Wardlow losing. It's not going to be a long match, I don't think. I think it's going to be one of those shorter matches that ends very abruptly. So I'm going to go with Wardlow.
I'm actually excited this match is happening. I'm even glad they put Hobbs in it because I wanted Hobbs to be in it. If it had been one-on-one, I'd have been fine with it. But no, they let him take the pin. I think Hobbs will take the pin, but it's going to go either way.
Like $1 million, dude.
Oh, he's fantastic, especially on the
dude
mic.
Looks like money, man. Oh my god, dude. Hobbs is a license to
I wouldn't even mind if he would win the match, but I think Wardlow's going to retain. I don't think you should take it off of him yet.
Yeah, Hobbs is getting that belt eventually, but yeah, not Saturday.
He can go after a Ring of Honor championship too, if you like. They'll eventually put gold on him soon, but I'm picking Wardlow to retain. Okay, this next match, I'm surprised they just gave out the surprise the last minute, but you hear the exciting news. The Elite is coming back. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are challenging Death Triangle for the Trios tag titles. So this is the first time we're going to see them since the whole fucking scruffle with CM Punk. So you got the inaugural Trios champions aiming to become the first 2-time Trios champs. Will they win those titles back? Or will Death Triangle prove a point and take down the Elite? Kai.
Thank you. Dude, once again, there's no way the Elite coming back after this hiatus from Brawl Out, and they're going to lose the match. They've already been telling the story for weeks now that Death Triangle are having this inner conflict where Pac wants them to turn heel and use the hammer. I feel like it's actually going to be kind of a theme that we're going to have some factions either full on breaking up or showing the biggest signs of disbanding. And I believe Death Triangle is one of those factions. Those belts are definitely as good as the Elites. It's going to be fantastic. I'm stoked. The match is going to be phenomenal. Like, there's no way the match isn't a barn burner. But yeah, once again, sticking to that predictable theme, those belts are the Elites.
Yeah, I'm going with the Elite. I think the match is gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. Match of the night contender easily. There's gonna be many near falls. Really good match. But yeah, the Elite are gonna walk out with the champions. Death Triangle, I think they were only keeping the titles warm for the Elite to come back and take it back. They've been hyping this up for weeks. There's no way they hype it up this long to have them come back and lose. There's not a chance. So yeah, the Elite are gonna walk out with the titles.
I'm rocking the Elite. I'm so glad to see Kenny and the Bucks back, and I can start watching the Elite on YouTube again because they haven't recorded any episodes since they've been suspended. And I was like, well, if I can't watch the Elite on Mondays, I'm just not going to watch the vlog on Tuesdays because I had a long stretch going on watching the Elite on Mondays and being the Elite on Mondays and Sammy's vlog on Tuesdays. And I haven't watched the vlog since Bucks and them got suspended. I mean,
You watch Sammy's vlog?
I did for like a long time. I had a long stretch of like a year and a half watching it, but I haven't watched it.
I haven't seen like a second off of that vlog. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, it's kind of a ripoff of the Elite, but I've definitely been watching it more to look at more Ty Connie or Ty Mello, whatever you want to call her. And Sammy has been kind of annoying. Like at one point, I was like one of his biggest fans, and everybody's like criticizing me. Oh, you can't be a fan of him. He wanted to rape Sasha Banks, or he's such a shitty wrestler. He almost broke Ruby Soho's neck. No, he cheated on fucking Pam with Ty, and like, who gives a fuck? The bitch can high fly, and he's from my city, Houston, Texas. But now I can't fucking stand him anymore. He gets on my nerves, and I want to fuck Ty. Who don't want to fuck Ty? Now I'm kind of super jealous. So I'm like, fuck Sammy Guevara. And the inner circle's no more. I don't like Jericho Appreciation. I say I don't like Jericho Appreciation Society, but I love quoting Daddy Magic and making fun of Anna JAS or Jericho with 1,000 nicknames and Jake Hager with his fucking purple Backstreet Boys hat and all that bullshit.
It's like you don't like the JAS, but if you spend any amount of time thinking about any of the individual acts in JAS, you're like, these guys are fucking entertaining. Like, how is it like when they're on screen, I don't like them, but if I sit down and I think about them, you're like, that's actually really that's good stuff that they're putting out. Man.
I like when they talk, when they cut promos. They're good at cutting promos, especially Daddy Magic. Remember his little video he made after the Blood and Guts saying how he missed his kid's first footsteps?
We were just talking about that on the Rewind. We were talking about how passionate dude 2.0 can be on the mic, how it's so contrasting to like
I didn't know nothing about it till Dylan told me you need to watch this. And I watched it. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
Clowning this
really
dude good. With his French Canadian accent. And I'm like, I need to take him more lightly. So I know Dylan's excited for the return of the Elite, and Jordan's going to be excited for this next match because his favorite wrestler is taking on his former best friend and tag team partner in a steel cage. We got Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus.
Yeah, man. These guys are going to have to, I think it's time for everybody to move on beyond this, but Jungle Boy's pretty much been taking the beatings week in and week out. So it's time for him to get his big win. Maybe afterwards, like he can finish up with Christian, assuming Christian is heals up and can get another match, but he'll get a big win. I mean, AEW has a great track record with cage matches. So if the past is proof of anything, should be a good match.
You basically answered my question. I was going to say, is Christian still injured, and that's why Luchasaurus is battling Jungle Boy instead of him?
Yeah, and that's also why that Christian match was just like a farce, and it was just a beatdown, and Christian got the quick pin. But yeah, it should be good, man. I like Luchasaurus and Christian. I think it's a good combo. Christian's a good mouthpiece for Luchasaurus. But yeah, this is Jungle Boys, man. This is Jungle Boys win.
Yeah, I'm going Jungle Boy.
Oh yeah, I know you're picking Jungle Boy. Does it hurt the fact that your favorite tag team has broken up and now they're facing each other in a steel cage? Or you don't care and you just want to see a kick-ass cage match?
Yeah, I really don't care. I'm just ready to see the match.
Do you miss Marco Stunt? Do you miss
Fuck
Marco
no.
Stunt, man?
Who? Hell no.
No? Man, I love Marco Stunt, man. I miss the kid.
They
I
were
miss him, dude.
they were bashing him on the vlog eventually too at times. I thought he got fired.
Pretty
I don't know what
much.
happened.
I mean,
I don't know what happened to him.
He apparently wasn't a big enough draw to keep on the books, but I liked him as part of like the trio. You know what I mean? I just thought that he would last long enough for the group to disband, and then once it disbanded, you know, he'd be out. But Tony Khan just he just said he had run his course and got rid of him early.
Yeah, I'm going with Jungle Boy also.
Me too. Who's not picking Jungle Boy? Everyone loves Jack Perry. Okay. So this match could be a potential worst match of the night. Then you're wondering why some of these people are even involved in this product. We're getting a tag team match with Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus Sting and Darby Allin.
Well, you're not a fan of the last Outlaw?
I'm a fan of Jeff Jarrett, but AEW, really?
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, Jeff Jarrett's going to follow the money. If we know anything about Jeff Jarrett, if somebody's willing to employ him and maybe give him a little bit of TV time, he's going to do it. This should be good. Jeff Jarrett's on a roll, man. I mean, he was obviously the shining star of of Ric Flair's final match. And then you got the talent in there, Jay Lethal and Darby Allin. And Sting does well, like in these multi-man matches and everything. Like it should be a fine match. Should be pretty good. Oh, by the way, the Goth Face, they're definitely gonna win though. Darby and
Sting and Darby. Okay.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, totally gonna win.
Yeah, I'm going to Darby and Darby Allin and Sting.
Yeah, same here. I'm going Darby and Sting. Jeff Jarrett, like he mentioned, you know, he's been on a roll lately. He was special guest ref for Usos and them, and then he wrestled in Flair's last match. Now he's in AEW. This guy is just going where the money is, and I mean, it could be an okay match. I mean, you know, Jeff Jarrett has proved that he can still somewhat go. So if we believe Sting can still go, then Jeff Jarrett can obviously go as well. So should be an okay match. Not really looking forward to it that much, but I think this is the match for Darby and Jay Lethal to shine. Not so much Sting and Jeff Jarrett. So we're looking more at Darby and Jay Lethal more than we are the other two.
Jeff Jarrett is the only guy to ever appear on AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact, GCW, and probably MLW and New Japan all the same year.
Same year. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that dude gets around.
I mean, look back. He was the referee for Nick Aldis and Matt Cardona at the Crockett Cup for NWA. He appeared on Impact because it was the 20-year anniversary of that. He was the referee at SummerSlam for the Usos and the Street Profits.
Why, though? That was the weirdest thing.
Because they were in Nashville, Tennessee.
Other than it being Nashville, I was like, dude, this is the weird. I was there, and like, nobody was like, oh
he had a fucking face-off with Matt Cardona and GCW at one point. And he also wrestled Ric Flair in his last match, but that was under Jim Crockett Promotions. That's all I also meant to say. Worst match I've ever seen of 2022. That was a spoiler I gave at the end of the year. And then now he coming back looking like a Knight Rider wearing all black, and I'm just glad he brought his TNA theme back, and he's calling people slapnuts because that's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard somebody get called was slapnuts.
He's bringing the most likable aspects of all of his old personalities. You know what I mean? He's putting it all together, Double J.
So I have a question for all three of y'all. Whoever wants to answer first. Would you rather a slapnuts or a don't piss me off t-shirt?
Slapnuts.
Yeah,
that's not even a fucking debate. Slapnuts. It's iconic, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny how he was fucking harassing a cameraman and shit. Like he was going to beat the fuck out of him.
And he didn't hit him. How, dude, that has got to be rare that they get away. That like the random person gets away.
I laugh at the Twitter handlers and all them that are saying, "Oh, Jeff Jarrett is gonna save AEW or he's saving pro wrestling." I'm like, what? He's the savior.
I'm not gonna lie, I am like, I've always been apathetic about Jeff Jarrett. Like, he represents like everything in pop culture that I'm just don't care about. And somehow this last year, I have found myself enjoying Jeff Jarrett. Not just because he's like in AEW now. Like, I liked him in the Royal Rumble and like everything. He seems like he's really trying at his age. Like, he's like in fucking phenomenal shape to be his age.
I know he's not 61 like Sting. He's like in his mid 50s or something. But no, I'm picking Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal because eventually Sting and Darby's winning streak is going to fall soon.
Yeah, see, I wanted to pick Jeff Jarrett, but I feel like this is kind of like, I don't think he's going to be on TV that long. Like, he was hired for their like live events and stuff, and I feel like they're just putting him on TV for a little bit, and then he's going to like go backstage. That's the only reason why I don't feel confident in betting on him.
Dylan and Jordan, do you think Jeff Jarrett is just there for a cup of coffee, or he's going to be there for quite some time and could potentially be AEW World Champion down the road?
Okay, no, I wouldn't go that far. No, Jeff Jarrett, this is like a one-off. Like, this is he's fighting at Full Gear. You may see him on a Dynamite here and there, but I think he's more like a backstage role more than anything.
Yeah, I think he's just there for a cup of coffee, like you said.
Have you ever checked out his podcast, My World, with Conrad Thompson?
No, but
I did. So. Yeah, their episodes are 2 or 3 hours long every Tuesday. I had to stop. I stopped right before Ric Flair's last match that I literally went back and subscribed to that one episode. I think it was the week of the show where Conrad and Jeff Jarrett are just fucking going at it with each other. Like, you attacked my father-in-law in the parking lot, you fucking son of a bitch. All that. And I'm like, look at Conrad Thompson, the mortgage guy, talking shit. All right. So there's a match coming up. There's 2 women's matches on the card. This will be the first. No, there's 3. I'm sorry. There's 3 women's matches on the card. This first one, I don't know if you want to call it having emotions in it, or it's going to be a dream match of the ages of women's pro wrestling. But we're getting Dr. Britt Baker versus Saraya, a.k.a. Paige. It's Paige's first time stepping in a ring since December of 2017. It's been 5 years since she stepped in a ring. They said her last match was a 6-woman tag at a house show. She teamed up with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville against Sasha, Bailey, and Mickie James, and Sasha fucked her neck up, and she had WWE made her retire from in-ring competition, and everybody was blaming Sasha for ending her career so early. But now, according to AEW doctors, she's medically clear. She's stepping back in the ring after 5 years, and this is her in-ring debut in AEW, and she's going after one of the top female talents and a former women's champion. So before we even predict this, I'm pretty sure it's an easy prediction, maybe not, but give me your take on Saraya coming back already. Do you want her to come back in the ring? Is it too soon? Should she just stay retired? Just give me your honest opinion on her right now, starting with Kai Tai, then Jordan, Dylan, and then I'll go, and then we'll go back around and make a prediction.
Well, I mean, like, it's not up to me to speak whether or not like she should keep wrestling or not. Like, that's up to her. If the doctor, I'm not a doctor, and if the doctor's cleared her, then that's ultimately up to her choice. In my opinion, doesn't matter whether she should or she shouldn't. The only thing that I had was the storytelling of when she came out and she announced that, you know, she's wrestling. The story that they're telling was like, they kind of like stumbled on it because, and I didn't see Britt's promo, but I heard she cut like a babyface promo on Dynamite last night. But yeah, like Paige or Saraya coming out saying like she's all better and she's this is now her house, and then Britt coming out and kind of just reminding her like, hey, I built this house, like brick by brick. I built this house and got us through the pandemic. And the crowd, it resonated with the crowd. It resonated with me. And so I thought that was like a misstep in the story that you're telling. With all that being said, I still think it's like a really intriguing match, and I think I'm excited for it. And it's I think we all know it's definitely Saraya's to win. They're not gonna like just like the Elite. They're not gonna have her come back and then just lose. So, but yeah, dude, I'm stoked.
Yeah, I'm glad that she's back, and I can't wait for the match Saturday.
Yeah, as far as her return, it's awesome to see her back. She definitely has the passion for it, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna cringe a little bit at the bump she's gonna take at first. Same thing I did whenever Danielson came back at Mania for his first match. Same thing for Edge when I was in attendance for his Royal Rumble return. That first bump is always going to make you kind of cringe a little bit because you want to make sure they can take that bump correctly and that they're not going to be injured again to where they have to be forced into another retirement. Something I don't want to see Saraya go through at all. So, yeah, the storytelling has been pretty good for this match. They've been having a lot of face-to-faces on AEW, something they advertise, it seems like, every single week. So finally we're getting a match out of this. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be one of the better women's matches of the night. I think possibly the second greatest women's match of the night with another one to follow later. So yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
I'm like what you said. I mean, I'm kind of glad to see what's gonna happen, and we'll see what happens when she takes that first bump, how much pain she's in, and hopefully she don't do no crazy stunts where she can damn near land on her neck and fuck her neck up again. And some people say Britt's not the best to work with. I mean, some people think she is easy to work with. Some don't think she's safe. So she's going to be a real test to see if she can hang. And I think it might be a rough start for her because, she ain't been in the ring in 5 years. She might get a little rusty, but she could pick back up. But, yeah, it's just like the Elite. I'm going to go with Saraya to win this one.
I just it reminds me of, y'all remember when, like, Brian took on Brock Lesnar? And Brian knew that like the fans were genuinely like concerned for his health. So he played up every time he got dumped on his head and he made himself look legitimately concussed and everything. I hope Saraya does it. I hope she does it, man. I hope she just like plays into like our heartstrings and makes us think she's fucked up. And she's not really fucked up though. I don't want her to be fucked up. I just want her to make us think she is.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you already said your pick.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Britt Baker.
No way.
Oh wow, he's going with this
is a madman over here.
Did Keith have something to do with your pick? Did Keith hold you against the wall? You're gonna pick the doctor. She's a Steelers fan. Let's go Steelers.
No.
Oh shit. No, Saraya wins. There's no way she's coming back after such a long absence to lose. I think one move that's going to make me really cringe as far as the neck injury is that curb stomp that Britt Baker does. If she does that, that's going to make me worry, like right there.
Oh, she does it to the neck. Imagine she does it to the neck and not the head. Oh God.
or
be crazy.
Or her version of the Canadian Destroyer. What is it? Not the Panama City Sunrise. What does she call it? The Steel City Sunrise, or I don't know.
That sounds about right. No,
her version of the. I know she don't call it Panama Sunrise. That's Adam Cole, and she's not Canadian, so she ain't the Canadian. I thought it was the Steel City Sunrise or some shit.
Well, yeah, because you have the Panama Sunrise from Cole. So if she was going to adopt it, I mean, I've never heard it be called anything, but Steel City Sunrise sounds about right to me.
If they're listening, they could call it that. But yeah, I'm picking Saraya. Okay, now this next women's match, it could be a nominee for worst match of the night, shittiest match of the night, popcorn break, piss break, toilet bowl of the week. But we're getting Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose for the TBS Championship. Jade, the worst fucking female wrestler on the planet, is the actual champion, but Nyla's been defending her championship on her terms, claiming she's the champion. And I've said a lot of mean shit about Nyla Rose, of how much she sucked and I hated her, but I have been so entertained with her stealing that bitch's championship and just defending it like it's hers. And I'm never wanted to see a Nyla Rose match more than this. So does this fucking streak of Jades continues, or will Nyla make history and become the first woman to win the women's title and the TBS championship?
Dude, you gotta be careful, man. You're showing that like old man out of touch shit because Jade Cargill is fucking fantastic. Jade Cargill has the most upside than anybody on that goddamn roster right now. She's the closest thing that they have to like that superstar homegrown-esque talent. Now, granted, the story they're telling, they've like squeezed every drop of juice out of this stolen title. How could you not be impressed with Jade? Like, this chick is showing leaps and bounds in improvement. You know what I mean? You can't expect her to come out and throw out Okada 5 stars when she's only like 3 years into her career, but she's doing a fantastic job. She looks like $1 million too, by the way. Yeah, she's totally keeping that belt, and then she's going to unify it at some point. It's going to be dope as shit.
She may look like $1 million, but she acts like she's $5.
What are you talking about? How so?
She can't cut a promo. She uses that street swag mentality, like I'm that bitch. I'm better than you because I am that bitch. And
that's dope. That resonates with so many people. That resonates, dude. You're an old man that's white. Of course, it don't resonate with you. That doesn't mean like there aren't people out there that's like, yo, I talk like that and I know that person. Like,
I've seen her.
That speaks to a ton of people.
Dylan and I have counted. I don't know how many times we counted her doing a lot of botch. She had a lot of botch moments, and saying plus she's not liked backstage because she don't get along with people backstage because she supposedly she is a bitch in real life. But she's one of 5 people I put that Saraya should never have a match with because they'll fuck her neck up. But she's not number 1 on the list. I'll give you a quick guess who will be number 1 on the list to never ever work with Saraya.
Sasha Banks.
No, this is an AEW. She's an AEW superstar.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, it's easy. Dylan fucking hates her with a passion.
Even I'm drawing a blank.
Ty.
Oh, I mean, she's all right. I just don't like who she's with. I don't like Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, but Ty's been shit lately too. Like Ty's the reason why Ruby almost broke her neck. Her and Sammy almost broke her fucking neck.
More Sammy than anything, not so much her. He's the one that dropped her.
They had Jade, Ty, the Bunny, Anna Jay, and another female wrestler. I think it was like who's the other baddie? Not Kira Hogan. Who was the other bad? Red Velvet. They said Red Velvet is like another shitty fucking wrestler to work with.
Dude, I love Red Velvet.
I love her too.
That she isn't doing more. Like she had such a good upside. Like I was rooting for her to improve every week. So that's the thing about these people is like we're watching, WWE had, if there was anything WWE had the lead on, it was they had dedicated the last decade before AEW came around to scooping up the most talented women in the Western side of the planet that wasn't going over to Stardom. So the majority of the roster, you're watching them develop because AEW doesn't have a performance center. They don't have anything outside of dark. So it gives you a really big personal look into the development of someone's career, and to judge them on like a total packages. I feel like it's unfair with a lot of them. But I can see like why it would draw the ire of some people, but I actually find that a reason to be intrigued and look into these women as you're watching them like grow week over week. Jade Cargill's a perfect example of that. She had her first match with fucking Shaq. Like, come on, that is like an awesome trivia question you'll be able to answer down the road.
Teamed up with Shaq and took on Cody and was it Red Velvet?
I think so.
Brandy was pregnant. Brandy couldn't run, and we still never got that match. Oh, we got a special guest on the show. Hello, little buddy.
Yeah, he cameos every show I do.
See, that was another wasted ripoff. We never got the Brandy Jade Mike fucking promo or even a wrestling match because Cody and Brandy went back to their real home.
I'm not too bummed about that one. I'm not gonna lie.
But okay, who you got winning this match? Does Jade retain and go fucking 49-0, 50-0, whatever her record is, or will Nyla Rose win the title? For real.
Oh, it's Jade. It's definitely Jade. That's the only reason why they did this story is so that somebody else can like feel like they've been a champion for a minute because Jade's carrying that belt for a while.
What is her record right now? I think did she get past 40-0 or this is her 40th? match.
She's got to be past 40 at this point.
I think she's at 40. I think.
I don't even remember, and because I don't give a shit.
You're such a dick, man.
They've been putting her last like 6 matches. They put her against an indie person or like a cup of coffee.
I mean, they got to get to that 50-0 somehow. Let's be honest now.
She's the female Goldberg basically right now.
I try not to say it, but you're not wrong.
And now they're trying to make Wardlow like that with his special entrance backstage and then the whole drum beats in the background. That sounds like the Goldberg chant and him doing numerous power bombs. But anyhow, Jordan, Jade Cargill or Nyla Rose, who you picking to retain to become TBS champion?
Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jade as well. And to kind of disagree with you, Marcus, I feel like for the AEW women's division, I feel like they're kind of lacking something. And if they lose someone like Jade, I kind of feel like their division would fall more, because I feel like Jade's one of the most charismatic characters they have on television. Whether it's the promo she cuts, whether it's the look in general, she is their women's division, I feel like. And soon enough, she's going to drop the TBS title. I'm not sure to who. If it was to someone, I always said could be someone like Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander is out for a while. So if someone was to take it off of her, I wouldn't be shocked if Nyla Rose took it off of her. But I don't see anyone else on this roster that could possibly dethrone her. I mean, they have Athena, they have Ruby Soho. I mean, they have other women on that roster that could dethrone her. So Nyla is one of the top candidates that could really do it. So for me, I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. But Jade Cargill, I feel like, is one of the hottest ones on that division. So she will be women's champion, the actual women's champion, not the TBS champion. So Jade's going to win. She's going to keep on boosting that undefeated record until someone's out there. Okay, yeah. Yeah, for 41-0. I figured she was past 40. But yeah, she's going to win. I mean, she's going to beat Nyla Rose. It's going to be one of the shorter matches. But yeah, she's going to continue that undefeated streak.
I'll tell you who I think will be the one to beat her eventually. If you look at the roster, the one that seems to make the most sense, and I know I have a feeling Marcus is going to shit on this. I think it'd be Willow, like Willow Nightingale, because she is such an organic baby face.
I love Willow Nightingale.
Yeah, she's like the polar opposite, personality-wise and story-wise of Jade. Jade's the blue chip, the person that was handed everything. You can play into what Marcus said and has been fed all the lower talents to pad that record, while Willow spent forever just trying to get signed and has a tough bringing. And I bet if you could watch them slowly meet up, and I bet that would be like, in my opinion, I think that'd be like the perfect story to tell. Like that'd be the perfect person, assuming the woman that beats Jade is currently signed, because we don't know how long she's going to run.
I love Willow Nightingale. I mean, I knew she wasn't going to beat Mercedes Martinez at Supercard of Honor when it was for the interim championship, but I was hoping one day she'll be future champion down the road. But fuck all three of y'all. I'm picking Nyla Rose.
Oh, you picking with your heart, man. You're picking with your heart, Marcus.
I'm reading some shit. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Anyways.
All right. Next up, we got a 4-way match for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Chris Jericho defending against Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara. So I have a quick question. How did Sammy Guevara get put in this altercation?
Oh, fuck. How was that again?
I know him and Jericho are not beefing. And Sammy definitely ain't no former Ring of Honor World Champion.
I think what it was Danielson and Claudio said that you have to fight one of us. They both said, you're going to have to pick one of us. And I think it was Jericho saying, you know what? No, I'll take both of you. But to even the odds, I want Sammy in the match. And then when the time's right, he'll know what to do. He implies that Sammy will lay down for him. Well, but I think that's how it came about.
You know, Sammy ain't taking no pin, whoever wins this match. He's just there to showboat and press tie.
That's the whole thing. He's not even fighting for titles. He just wants to show off to Ty every time he gets in the ring.
He's gonna come out and just make out where Dylan can roll his eyes, and he's gonna do all these high flying stunts just to make her Brazilian coochie wet.
Can't say that I blame the guy. I'm not gonna lie.
He's gonna eventually fucking hurt himself down the road, but all right. So yeah, because I said I know he's not a former Ring of Honor World Champion like Brian and Claudio is, but so who's walking out? Remember, it's 4 ways, every man for himself. The champion has a 25% chance of retaining. Who's walking out with Ring of Honor World Championship that has been getting more recognition than the AEW World title, which that was a stupid thing I just said, because that's about the same. It gets the same level of hype as the AEW World title because they parade John Moxley every week on the show.
I think it's Jericho's. I feel like there's a big story being told. So going back to what I said about like the Death Triangle and the Elite, how I feel like we're going to see a lot of like factions imploding. I think this is where we see the cracks showing with Combat Club too as well, because they haven't really been a cohesive unit for a minute now. So I feel like I feel like this match is going to have everything. Like it's gonna have like such like feats of strength, technical prowess, high flying, sports entertainment. I feel like everything that AEW represents is all going to be showcased in this one match, which I think is going to be hilarious. But I think it's just Jericho's. Like, I don't really have too much insight on this one. I feel like just Jericho's going to retain here.
Yeah, Chris Jericho retains.
Yeah, same here. I'm going Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho at his age is just doing phenomenal things. Fucking guy was on The Masked Singer last night. No one could even guess who that voice was. Shocking enough. You know, the first time I heard the guy sing behind the mask, I knew who he was within the first 5 seconds. I mean, if you know Chris Jericho, you know his voice, you know who he is. And crazy enough to guess, or the judges couldn't even guess who he was, which was wild. Some of them even had appearances on Monday Night Raw before, and they still couldn't guess who he was. Thought it was crazy, but yeah, Chris at his age is doing great things. I think Jericho wins. It's going to be a good match. A lot of high flying with Guevara and with Danielson. You're going to see a lot of power with Claudio, and of course, you're going to see Chris Jericho doing the crazy things he does at his age. I just think that Chris, as the Ring of Honor champion, is the right move right now, and I think Tony Khan's going to have to see that to move forward with him as the champion. So yeah, Chris Jericho wins.
So the Judas effect, real quick, is not one of the craziest things he does. It's one of the fucking stupidest things he does. And I love Jericho, but come on, dude. You got to think of something better than a fucking elbow to the face.
I promise you, Jericho. I feel like Jericho unveiled that Judas effect right after there was like a spinning elbow knockout in the UFC. And I feel like he was like, he wanted to emulate that.
When I first heard the name, the Judas effect, I was like, what is that? A kick to the nuts?
You know, I've never really thought of it. Because the Judas effect, you would assume it'd be like something like how to backstab somebody. You know what I mean, right? I guess you are backwards, though. Like, I don't know.
Well, I have Jericho retaining the title. Who takes the pin here? I must say Brian takes the pin.
You know what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna say it's Sammy. I will say that it's Sammy who takes the pin. I don't feel confident in it, but I have to pick someone.
I'll go Brian.
The craziest part is if Jericho wins, man, it's kind of hard to see any of them taking the pin in this one, or submission if he wins by the walls of Jericho. If someone takes it, you know, it has to be Sammy. I don't think Danielson can take it. I don't think Claudio can take it. So someone has to take it, and it's got to be Sammy, I think.
If Sammy takes the pin, it will probably be on purpose. Like, it'll be like a setup. Like, let's get out of here. Let's keep the title. Just pin me. Hit me with the Judas effect and pin me. I'll just take 3, and you keep the title because you're the Ocho.
You know what'd be hilarious is like the story that Jericho told is that like when the moment comes, you'll do the right thing. What if Danielson and Claudio like just try to pull that for fun. Like they won't pull it off successfully, but they'll see like Jericho and Sammy distracted, and one of them will agree to lay down for the other. Like Claudia will agree to lay down for Brian or something like that, and they'll just try to steal a belt, but it'll get like interrupted.
Maybe.
I think that would make for a funny moment.
So I have another question. Since we're all picking Jericho to retain, who do you see him defending that title against at Final Battle? You think he's going to face like a big, huge name coming back as a former Ring of Honor World Champion to try and dethrone him, or who do you think?
Hold on, I got to Google former Ring of Honor champions. I'm not as caught up.
At first, I was going to say Samoa Joe, but now he's a fucking heel, so Joe's out the picture.
Nigel McGuinness. Wasn't he just released from WWE?
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That
say
would
Nigel.
be good. That would be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
Because I doubt Jonathan Gresham's coming back.
Mm-mm.
That would be a hell of a
Oh,
match.
no. He kind of fell over flat with the AEW fans. Like my RN, my co-host, is crazy about the guy, and I
And we
told
know
RN, I was like,
we know CM Punk ain't coming back after
Yeah.
they invited Colt Cabana to come wrestle Jericho. All right. Well, I guess while y'all still thinking of that, we'll move on. So we got another question. Dude, I don't know what's wrong with my audio. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi. Women's AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Before we make this pick, should Toni be the official women's champion? Get that interim shit off of her. Take the real shit off of Thunder Rosa and put it on Toni.
Yes.
I
yeah,
agree.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So, who's winning this match? Two former friends. Toni Storm or Jamie Hayter?
Out of all of the matches, this is the one I feel the least confident in. Like this is the only one that I feel like it's not obvious, but it probably is obvious. Like it's probably Toni Storm, but my criticism with AEW is they don't seem to strike while the iron's hot. And right now, Jamie Hayter is fucking hot, dude, with the fans. And it's like, I feel like they should make up for not striking when Thunder Rosa was at her peak and a couple other people were peaking. And I feel like they should go Hayter, but I'm going to have to go Toni Storm because I feel like even begrudgingly, they want to get to this title unification of Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm. Despite all the momentum that's being gathered by Jamie Hayter. However, there is one story that I could see Hayter winning. No, because I feel like the belt eventually will make its way back to Britt, and maybe Hayter will take it from her. But I feel like that's going to be the story. Hayter will just move on to like a non-title feud with Britt or something. So yeah, it's probably Toni Storm. I'm gonna go with Toni, but it should be Hayter though. It should be Hayter.
I'm gonna go with Jamie Hayter to win it.
I hope you're right, man.
So I'm going to double down on Jamie Hayter as well, but I'm not confident. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you look at Jamie Hayter, she kind of gives me that vibe of like a Randy Orton and Evolution. Randy wasn't the top guy in Evolution. Obviously, it was Triple H. So if you look at the whole, I don't know if you want to call it a faction with Britt Baker, with Rebel, and with Jamie Hayter, she's obviously the side person in this whole thing. Britt's obviously the top person in this. So if she wins the title, she's going back to being Britt Baker's lackey. So it's almost like something has to happen with Britt and Jamie Hayter for her to win the championship. So while I'm picking Jamie, I'm not very confident in it. I think Toni may win. I think there's a high chance she'll win. But something about me wants to see the title on Jamie Hayter. She should have won it, I think, at All Out. She failed to win it. You know, Toni Storm was like the obvious pick to win it All Out in that Fatal 4-Way. But yeah, Jamie Hayter would just look great with that championship. You know, she's over with the crowd. I think the crowd's going to be behind her 100%, and they're going to be very let down if she doesn't win. So like with the Acclaim, how they lost their first bout with Swerve in Our Glory, how the crowd was just 100% behind the Acclaim and they lost. The crowd was dead after it. Something reminds me that's going to happen at Full Gear if Toni Storm ends up winning it. And something tells me she will. but just as the person that wants to Jamie win it, I'm gonna go with Jamie Hayter.
I would love to see Jamie Hayter be champion one day. Eventually, it will be, but not for a title that really don't mean shit, like an interim championship. If she wins a title, it's got to be the real thing. So I'm giving Toni Storm the win in this one. She will retain because eventually there will be a unification match with her and Thunder Rosa. They got unfinished business. Hopefully we don't have to wait till Revolution in February, March for her to come back, and then we can unify these titles. Hopefully she can come back quick because they're going to be in Texas for Winter is Coming. They're going to Dallas or Garland, Texas, Curtis Caldwell Center. She can do that match there because she always likes to wrestle in Texas. So give me Toni Storm, and hopefully they end this shit quick. Let Jamie Hayter go fight Britt Baker down the road because I've been wanting to see that. Dylan's been talking about, I want Jamie Hayter to turn on Britt and let him have a match. Now I want to see that match. And then I'll give it sometime in 2023, Jamie Hayter will be women's champion. I'm going to call it.
Yeah. The only thing I heard that was a little off was he said that she's like the Randy Orton of the Evolution, and I think that's she's the Batista to Britt's Triple H is what it is, because that Randy Orton just won the belt and he was the young thing, but the crowd was never like really there for him, whereas Batista became like undeniable with the fans when he finally overtook Triple H.
Yeah, well, pretty much. I just said anyone else who wasn't Triple H in Evolution. That's basically what I was doing. And
we
I just
all
singled
agree
out
she's not the Ric Flair. She's not the Ric Flair of Evolution.
Right. Yeah, we can agree on that one.
All right. Now we got the AEW World Tag Team Championships, the third meeting between the Acclaim and Swerve in Our Glory in Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. It's 1-1 apiece. So Swerve and Keith got the victory at All Out. The Acclaim got the victory at Grand Slam. So now we're down tie apiece. Who's going to take this rubber match and who's walking out with the tag team titles?
Yeah, man. So to round out the trifecta of breakups of the evening, I think this is the Acclaimed. They're the only people that makes me, a grown man in my mid-30s, want to go scissor people in public. So I feel like the Acclaimed is gonna win, and then we'll get that probably that heel turn from Swerve, and he and Keith Lee will go into a feud and keep them pretty active. They'll probably be like the lead people for a Rampage, or hopefully they'll be on Dynamite because they both are beyond talented. But yeah, man, the Acclaimed, the show rolls on with the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass.
Now I'm going with the Acclaim too.
Yeah, same here. The Acclaim is the super over with the crowd, and yeah, at some point Swerve and Keith are gonna have to break up. It seems like Swerve's going more the heel route. Keith, I think, wants to stay more face, and I think somewhere down the line they have a one-on-one bout with each other. So the Acclaim seems like the more reasonable pick. So it's kind of hard to break up or stop a reign of something that's so hot right now like the Acclaim. So yeah, I'm going with them.
They're literally like the hottest thing on Dynamite right now. I
They
feel like
are
they
the
are
most
the most
popular.
overact. Yeah.
Oh yeah, easily.
They may not be the greatest tag team. Like they may not be on FTR's level or the Young Bucks' level, but goddamn, they are so entertaining. The whole Scissor Me Daddy Ass shit, Max Caster looking like a Russell Wilson on Wish, rapping like John Cena, and Anthony Bowens. I don't think he's been carrying the boombox lately, but yeah, just being entertaining. He's very entertaining for a gay guy. Anthony Bowens makes me laugh.
I don't think you have to preface that with a gay guy. Like, I think he's just entertaining. Like, that's the thing about his on-screen character. It's never about his like sexual orientation. Like,
He
I
don't
feel
make
like
it that way. You don't even, people don't even, he don't act like it. People be like, he's gay. I'm like, yeah, but he don't act like it. He just bees himself. He just acts normal. That makes me appreciate him even more.
Yeah, kudos to creative in AEW.
The whole Scissor Me shit, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Now
But,
people,
Yeah, well, I mean, because wrestling companies, they can't help themselves when they find out stuff like that. They're like, okay, that's the basis of your personality now, and they believe in Bowens enough to have a personality based beyond his sexual orientation. If you never paid attention to like social media, or I guess like Pride Month, they out it there, but you'd never know. You'd never know, man. And yeah, I honestly, like, hot take here, I think Bowens is a future world champion. Like, I really do. I think he showed a ton of potential while Max Caster was injured. I believe, like, within the next couple of years, I think he's actually going to be world champ.
I could see both being future world champions.
Yeah.
But yes, the Acclaim, and him coming up with the whole scissor me shit, I think it's funny. I think it's entertaining. I like it. I'm fucking telling people scissor me, and they're like, what the fuck? But the Acclaim
so we're gonna have to contact HR.
So the Acclaim retains. Swerve and Keith are gonna break up. Swerve's gonna go heel. Because I can't see Keith as a heel. He's too big. He's like a big cuddly teddy bear.
I could see him as a heel, but there's more value in him and Swerve feuding than them just being heel tag team.
I don't know if they've wrestled one of these two tag teams yet, but like I'd like to see the Acclaim versus FTR down the road, or hell, I'll even like to see the Acclaim versus the Young Bucks down the road, even though the Young Bucks are going to kind of be only a trio thing with Kenny.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. FTR, like the Acclaimed and FTR, I bet there's a lot you could get a lot out of that feud.
I also think this match could be a potential show stealer with the Acclaim and Swerve in Our Glory. Or is there another match that we just mentioned, or maybe the main event that could be the show stealer?
Oh man, you don't think Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill aren't going to be like the 5-star classic of the evening?
No. If not the Acclaim and Swerve, I'll say Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
Could be a sleeper hit.
What about you guys? What match you don't think, or maybe the Ring of Honor World Title could be a show stealer? I don't know. What do y'all think could be the show stealer of the night?
Death Triangle and the Elite.
Yeah, I think that's match of the night. Wanted it easily is the trios champion.
I literally forgot about that. Yeah, that could be a lot of BT triggers and V triggers and One Winged Angels and super kick parties left and right.
As long as that style's like your cup of tea, because there are a lot of people that are turned off by that. Like that. Really
I love
frantic.
it. I love the Young Bucks. I love the Elite. I love Kenny Omega. I love Adam Cole. I just can't wait till he comes back, if he comes back.
Yeah, man.
They saying he's on concussion protocol, but he's fucking playing with the Cincinnati Bengals. You saw that picture of that fucking player on the Bengals team that literally looked like Adam Cole?
No. You're going to have to send that to me, Marcus.
Dylan might have it. I retweeted many of them weeks ago. Dylan can probably find it. No, there's a guy on the team that literally looks like him. And even Adam Cole quoted it and put hashtag Who Day. And I'm like, don't let your fucking woman find out you're chanting Who Day, because Steelers and the Bengals are a division rival. And if you don't believe me, ask Keith. Keith almost got me and Dylan's brother jumped by our own people because during a 3-minute commercial break, they were acknowledging all the LSU Tigers that are starters in the NFL, and they saved the two best for last. They saved Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow last, and they both got the loudest ovations outside of Justin Jefferson and Jarvis Landry and Tyrann Matthews, because those last two play for the Saints. When they showed Jamar, then Joe, Keith got up and booed the fucking shit out of them. He's the only one out of 102,000 because he's a Steelers fan. And me and Ryan almost got beat up by our own kind. Like, you don't boo Joe Burrow. He won a Heisman. He brought us to the greatest team in college football history. Like, don't fucking look at me. Look at this stupid fuck.
Being guilty by association. Man, I almost got my ass beat a lot of times growing up with my stepbrother. I almost got my ass beat due to association because of my stepbrother running his mouth all the fucking time. Yeah, I know. I know what you mean there. So
I'm pretty sure this last one is very predictable, but let's talk about it and share what we think. So we got the main event, Jon Moxley versus MJF for the AEW World Championship. This is actually the second meeting on pay-per-view. Remember, they wrestled at All Out 2 years ago in front of no fans, where Moxley cheated to win by using his move he wasn't supposed to use. And that was when MJF did the whole campaign of, I'm going to be AEW World Champion at 25 years old or 24, whatever.
Oh, yeah. That's where he emulated the Samoa Joe moment in from WWE or NXT, where he got shoved in the hallway, and he did that too. I remember that shit.
I think he was like 23 or 24 when he cut all that shit. Now he's like in his mid 20s now, and he won the poker. Well, he was handed the poker chip when he wore the Halloween mask or whatever, and then took it off and found out it was him. And he's got a title shot down the road, and he's saying, I'm going to win this. I want him at 110%. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to use the Dynamite Diamond Ring. I'm going to prove to Regal, and I'm going to prove to everyone that I can be the greatest of all time. You know, MJF's been talking like this for weeks. So besides a pick, if you guys are picking MJF or not, how do you think this is going to turn out to finish?
Dude, this is going to be some overbooked madness. And I'm kind of here for it. I ain't going to lie. Hey, look at that. I don't know, man. You have the two obvious routes. The one is MJF's been pulling our leg this whole time with the babyface facade, and he's really in cahoots with the firm, and he let them put him through the table or whatnot. Or there's the whole Regal is going to turn, which a lot of people are really latching onto, and I'm kind of leaning on that one too. Because with Blackpool Combat Club essentially on the fritz, it probably would make sense for Regal to like abandon ship instead of stick around for all the infighting and drama between Yuta being jealous that Daddy Brian was liking, what the fuck was his name? I don't know, man. I guess I'm gonna go with MJ. Yeah, Garcia. Excuse me.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Brian because excuse me, Brian. Fucking hell, MJF, because Regal's gonna blast Moxley with those gold knucks. Actually, Moxley, scratch that. Regal's gonna hand off the gold knucks to MJF because MJF is gonna motion like he's gonna use the dynamite ring. And Regal's going to tell him, like, nuh-uh, no, son, don't use the dynamite ring, making us feel like MJF's about to choose the right thing. And then Regal's going to say, use these instead. And he's going to hand him the gold, the brass knucks. And
right.
And that's how it'll play out. And then, because essentially that's what the dynamite ring is like portrayed is, like the brass knuckles. So it'll be kind of like a hand-me-down.
Yeah. So you're saying MJF wins and Regal turns heel and joins MJF.
Well, Regal's always a heel. He's a self-confessed villain. He's just hasn't done anything like villainly lately. But like I said, to compound it, not only does Regal turn on Mox, but he passes down the knucks in the match. Like we get the knucks are now MJF's signature.
All right. Okay, Jordan, who you got?
I got MJF, and I think it's going to be a great match. And I think Regal might turn.
You think Regal's going to turn heel too? Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been on the MJF train for quite some time now to win the title, but the internet does this crazy thing where it brainwashes the shit out of me. And I didn't see the theory of Regal turning until earlier today. Since I saw it, I'm 100% on it. Something about me wants the Blackpool Combat Club to disband, and it mainly I wanted it to disband so they can stop feuding with Jericho. I mean, BCC and JAS has been far too gone with feuding. I'm tired of watching it, so I want all of them to go their own routes. So yeah, I'm fully on board with Regal turning, and just like you were saying, Kai, that for him turning and like kind of like a passing of the torch of the brass knuckles, I think that would get the internet just losing their shit by the end of Full Gear. for me, if you want the internet to go nuts like they did last year at All Out, or even this year when MJF returned to get the poker chip from Stokely, then you have to do something big like a heel turn from Regal. I mean, the internet's calling it already, but I think for it to finally happen and to see it right in front of your face, I think it would be even more shocking. So MJF wins. Like I said, I've been on the MJF train for a while. I picked Ethan Page earlier because if the stuff with him and the firm is legit, then I think it only makes sense for MJF and Ethan Page of the firm to go at it at Winter Is Coming, kind of get that feud going more. But I mean, I'm not so sure about that now. But yeah, Regal turning would be just the cherry on top right there. And to kind of be that guy for MJF, not so much a mouthpiece, because MJF has all taught us he does not need a mouthpiece at all. So I think Regal just being by his side, being that heel that he's always been, would be just fantastic. So MJF wins, but there's going to be a lot of shenanigans on the outside for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I've been saying for years, MJF needs to be champion, and I am picking MJF to win, but it's how he's going to win. So I've been saying for weeks that this shit with the firm has to be a hoax. It's probably a setup. Like Hathaway and them are going to help him win the title. That's what I've been saying. Like, it's all a hoax. He never left the group. He's just been paying them to beat him up and to fool everybody. And then when the time comes, they're going to help him win the title. But then again, if Ethan, maybe he can't stand them, because if Ethan Page does win, then that would make a perfect example of trying to make MJF this full babyface and take on a heel like Ethan Page, because nobody likes Ethan Page. But we could be wrong. Maybe Ricky Starks could win the tournament, and we got a heel champion and a babyface challenger. Ricky Starks and MJF would be a fucking banger. I mean, but I still think
just
Ethan
the two
Page
of them on the
win.
mic, too. Think about Ricky Starks and MJF going back and forth on the mic. That would be awesome to listen to.
Ricky Starks reminds me of The Rock a little bit.
I've heard that before. I can see some semblance.
But I got MJF winning the title finally. I just don't know if this whole thing with the firm is a hoax, or if he really isn't with them anymore. But now that you're saying about the Regal thing, maybe it could happen. I don't know, but I just don't think it will happen. Not yet. They would have to really fuck Moxley over for Regal to turn, because obviously it looks like Regal is more attached to Moxley and Regal, more attached to Moxley and Bryan than he's more attached to Wheeler Yuta and Claudio. Because I don't ever remember him being on commentary for another Claudio or Wheeler match. I always see him on commentary for Bryan or Moxley.
Yeah.
And he comes out with them. He don't come out with Claudio or Wheeler anymore.
No, he's essentially there to show off, to hold the belt for Moxley.
Mox and Regal together kind of remind me of Roman and Paul Heyman.
I was thinking that actually the other night. I was like, Regal, you could give a little bit of pizzazz to that belt whenever Moxley's talking. Like, you know what I mean? Because you see Heyman back there. Anytime like Roman tries to punctuate something, Heyman throws that belt up, to even further emphasize the point. I was like, Regal, you could take a lesson here. Showgirl that belt a little bit.
It's going to be a fun pay-per-view. I'm sure Dylan and Jordan will be together watching it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I'll be watching it sometime Sunday, but I will probably see some spoilers on Twitter, which that ain't going to bother me, because I've done the same with WWE with Clash at the Castle, and Extreme Rules was actually the last one I watched like live in person, because what else? Oh, Crown Jewel I didn't watch live. I watched it the next day, but I got on the internet and read the spoilers. The day they have NXT Deadline and Final Battle, I won't be watching live either. I'll be looking at spoilers on the internet and watching it the next day. That will do it for tonight. This was fun. Kai Taya, thank you again for coming back on. It was hell of a pleasure having you, and we're going to definitely have you again on the road in the future. But before we go, where can we find you at?
Hey man, I run like this little like podcasting network thing called Smacked Raw. You can follow Smacked Raw on Twitter at Smacked Raw Pod. What it is it's a collection of shows. Right now we only have 3, so it's a small collection. You've got my show, The Rewind, which you were kind enough to plug at the beginning. Twitch.tv/Smacked Raw. You can find it. It's usually Sundays or Mondays, whenever me and RN feel like linking up. But then you have other live shows like Botch Spots and Chair Shots. They're also on Twitch as well. And then we have the Heel Truth podcast with Ted the Hillbilly Heel. He does his thing. That's exclusive to our audio versions. And we actually get some Patreon exclusive content too. Patreon.com/SmackDraw We have a whole bunch of stuff like stickers and t-shirts and exclusive content over there. So check that out. If you want to follow me, I talk about MMA and South Park, and I usually just like cut up and try to have like a good time. I try to find the lighter side in a lot of stuff. I don't really do too much complaining, which makes me kind of dumb or dull to a lot of people. But if you're into the lighter side of things, follow me on Twitter at the Kai Tai Show. Awesome. And Marcus and you guys, I greatly appreciate you having me on. This is my second appearance, and it's been a ton of fun.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Doors always open.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jordan and Dylan, you guys have any last words?
I got nothing. Thanks for coming on the show, man. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you for the first time. This first time that I see you on the show.
Yeah, I don't have nothing. And thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man. It was really good. Less dick jokes this time, unfortunately. I didn't fill my dick joke quota this time. I'll double up on my next appearance. Okay?
Well, I'll let Dylan bring up for our listeners about Manscaped real fast before we close out.
What about them that you didn't already say?
Oh, you know where we can go. Just remind them where they want to go. They want to buy some of that products, what they can do to help us and help themselves.
Yeah, sure. Let me pop the thing up real quick. Yeah, manscaped.com. Type in the code WEP to get 20% off and free shipping. We're on a trial sponsorship right now, but we get enough codes used and we'll land a long-term thing. Yeah, Marcus just popped up the We Save Balls newspaper that we get. So
they're actually they call these mats. Some type of mat.
Oh yeah, the disposable shaving mats. Yeah,
the shaving mats that you stand on to shave your boys.
It's probably a little bit easier than standing over your toilet trying to
or towel.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm swinging roadkill outside. I look like Jim Levinstein on American Wedding when he was fucking shaking it and then went in the little kitchen, the cooler area, and went in the cake.
Oh, I haven't thought about that shit in years, man. That was such a funny scene.
He's got the towel on his like that, and the fucking pubes are going through the vents, and it went in the dude's mouth, and then on the wedding cake and shit. But yes, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at World Elite Pod. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Again, we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, so you can subscribe on any audio platform, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and many more. Give us a 5-star rating, 5-star review. Our live streams, powered by StreamYard, you can watch anytime on demand on YouTube or on our Facebook page, wherever you choose to be. And proud sponsor, again, manscaped.com, also including also Wrestle Champs and ADCs, our other sponsors. Use our promo codes for them as well. Floor Slapper Sports, your number one source on all your sports and pro wrestling needs. Go to floorslappersports.com. Check all that out. Plus, you can listen to our shows from there as well as many other of our great wrestling friends as well. But this is World Elite Podcast. Stay warm. I don't know how cold it is in North Carolina right now, but stay warm.
Pretty chilly. It's pretty chilly. I ain't gonna lie.
Same here. And that's a shock. Yep. Enjoy a great weekend. Stay warm. Enjoy Full Gear. And join us Sunday. I will probably host a Fallout on my YouTube channel if I ever get the time. I can't guarantee that. I will not guarantee will be a Fallout, but I will make something happen if I got the time. But this Worldly Podcast, thank you. And we'll see you next time.
Y'all have a good one.